your two dad show. Ooh, JJ and Deacon, they're the ones in the know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Inspire with us, tomorrow's news today. Tomorrow, yeah.
Super important news, like Time Magazine had a big article about Trump, big interview, and Joe Biden's gonna bring all the Gaza refugees to the United States of America. Welcome back, everybody. I'm JJ. I'm in the wrong spot. And, oh, good. I get to move. Here, I'm going to move. All right. Now, I'm JJ. That's Deacon. That's Dave. We are your two dads. 1, 2, 1, whatever. Look, this name of the show doesn't matter. Nobody's watching. Good morning, guys.
Hi, dude. What's up?
Good Friday, y'all. Good Friday.
Confused me there for a second, Dave. I'm like, what the hell is it? Friday?
Yeah.
What crap is
David's on. What?
What?
Mm-hmm. All right, so we got a little bit of stuff to talk about. I don't think World War III is broken out yet. We're working on that Civil War. We got the campus protests have spread all the way from like Harvard and University of New York all the way to UCLA. So 187 days left.
That's our ticker. I'm going to start showing that every morning to give everyone just a little bit of hope at the very first of the show. It's only 87 more days left. So I'm just, that's our little hope.
Next election is stolen from President Trump.
So good morning, JJ. How are you? We have some interesting stories of stuff that we both saw at the same time. And I've got some stuff that something that somebody on X posted. And it was just, when I read this, it was like opening the door to Oz and seeing all the color. When I swear to God, when I read this morning, I was like, Ashley sent it to me, and I was like, it was like the final puzzle piece when you get done with a 1,000-piece puzzle and you put it all together. You got that. Oh man! So let's talk about it here in this. It's one of our stories that we got coming up. So
I am so curious about your framing. I wonder what it is that we both saw that you.
It was just an eye-opening. It was one of those eye-opening. Oh my God, this is what it is.
Hold on, I'm gonna take a stab at it, Deke. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna see if this is the. Let me pause that. Let me see if this is what we both saw, and so that we are simpatico. You ready? Here we go.
Good to see, baby.
All right, here we go. Is it this? Is it the new Little Mermaid exhibit?
Oh my God, well, you are reading my mind, dude. We are in sync this morning. Wow.
What is going on over here? I mean, this looks like it's in a it looks like it's in a hotel, dude. Look.
That's not a hotel. Hotel's doors open to the inside. That's a motel, JJ.
Lady put a fish tank in a motel courtyard with a little tent on top so that she could be.
Okay. No, that's not the story I was talking about.
That's not it?
No.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe your Twitter feed and my Twitter feed are not exactly.
Yeah, I've got different stuff that comes up in my. That's what I tell Ashley. Right. That's what I make a joke with Ashley all the time. She'll send me something really weird or show me something weird on Facebook, and my go-to joke is, "You've got weird stuff that comes up on your feed, man. I don't have that kind of stuff. None of that stuff ever shows up on my feed."
Got live action Ariel from Little Mermaid?
My algorithm is fine. You can look through all of my stuff, and you're not going to find anything.
My hair looks
I don't have an algorithm.
Yeah, my algorithm is Dungeons and Dragons or Alien Conspiracy.
I don't think I have the Alien Conspiracy.
You guys should see the stories that he drops in the other channels on the server. I mean, there's stuff, and I look through there, and I'm like, okay, this could be. No, this is not real.
Dude, they're all good. I mean, we should have a whole Deek-spiracy show one day where I just pick some of these and go through. But the problem is we would probably be banned on YouTube, and hell, even Rumble would be like, you guys have gone too far.
Dude, I just found out this morning that we might be sorry, YouTube, trying. We found out this morning we might be crossing
YouTube-
the AI line.
YouTube does not like us using AI, Trump and Biden and Hillary and
No, they don't
Obama
like
at
that.
the end. They don't
Look,
like
it's
us
just
using that.
jokes.
Even though it's obviously jokes, they don't like it.
You know, if anybody's going to tilt the election this year, it's very likely there's a non-zero probability that we could impact the election with our yucks and ha-has. All right, let's get into this. Good morning, folks. Good morning, chat. Okay, so a big old Time story posted an article. They printed an issue of Time, and they interviewed Donald J. Trump, 45th president of the United States, and very likely the 47th president of the United States. Check it out. Now, this article is 26 minutes to read, so we're not going to do that. But I got some highlights out of it. Let's see. Let me share this one instead because my highlights is over here. I went through the article, and Deke, you have a QR code on your face. You got a little something right here, buddy. You got a little right there. Can you just? Yeah, it's right.
Let me see. Where is it?
Check that. It's right. Okay, that's
that
good.
it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can
Okay, I pulled some. I pulled some quotes out of the article. Some things that Donald Trump essentially, by telling Time magazine, right? What is he doing? He's telling mainstream America, this is the point in time where the presidential candidates actually start sending out messages that the mass public will start to kind of absorb, right? So because all up until this point, it's been us, it's been you, me, the people on the far right, the people on the far left that are hyper political. This is going to be on. Go ahead.
I'm going to preface all this by saying something that I've stated a couple of weeks ago or a month ago or something. If there are any people in the United States that have not made up their mind who they're voting for in this election, that number is very, very few. Everybody knows who they're going to vote for. There's no changing their minds. And I think that is one of the main reasons why you're not seeing any freaking advertising, because it's pointless. It would be money thrown in the garbage can, because normally advertising is trying to get that certain percentage of undecided voters. Well, that number is so small in this election that it's pointless to if I was a campaign manager, I would say that. I would be like, it's pointless. You're throwing away your money. I think because everybody's already decided. I think
traditional media ad buys, the return on investment there is definitely lower than it has ever been in the past, right? So you got to find new ways to reach and engage your audience. New ways like having your own social media platform, your entire own social media platform.
Well, what was the catalyst in creating your own social media platform? The reason they bitch about Donald Trump having he's got his own social media platform. He's got his own social media platform. You know why? Is because the social media platforms that they had were banning him and banning anyone that like that, and putting a harness on speech. So you created the beast.
Really? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The establishment, and we're talking FBI, CIA, NSA, whatever, they all had a hand in banning Trump from Twitter. And Twitter was something unprecedented, right? In the 2016, 2018 era, Twitter allowed everyday citizens to be within reach of the president and him actually respond to you, him actually read what you wrote, and in dialogue with the American citizens. I mean, it was so close. And the deep state was like, nah, can't have that. And they banned him. And he couldn't be on any social media for like a year or something. He was banned from Facebook, Twitter, you name it, he was banned. So Donald Trump starts Truth Social, which ain't really that bad. It's not bad if you want to talk to Trump. All right, so let me hit some of these some of these things that Donald Trump said. Let me see if you guys have any opinions other than no comment. Okay, so here's one. As always, Trump punches back, degenerating his former top advisors. But beneath the typical torrent of invective, there is a larger lesson he has taken away. I let them quit because I have heart. I don't want to embarrass anybody, Trump says. I don't think I'll do that again. From now on, I'll fire. So in the first administration, the Trump administration, there was a lot of bad guys that were either embedded in or he hired on. I mean, we got John Bolton, we got all of these guys. We got probably William Barr, right? You could throw darts and hit a bunch of them that were uniparty actors for sure, or they had their own motives. And I can't speak for you guys, but when I voted for Trump in 2016, I was like, get the guy in that fires people and start firing people. Let's just clean house. And he didn't fire people. What do you think? Do you think that Donald Trump will actually fire people if he is reelected?
He had a huge turnover rate when he first started in like cabinet.
Yes.
I mean,
there were,
huge
but that wasn't like you're fired, get out, find someone else. That was people resigning, people. It was not firing. It was letting people quit.
So let me ask, can the president fire the vice president?
No, that's an elected position. You
Is
cannot fire.
elected?
Vice president is an elected position. Yes.
They're on the ticket. You don't vote for vice president, do you?
Yeah,
you're voting for the president and vice president.
It's a combo pack.
President.
It's a combo pack.
It's a combo pack.
Yeah.
You don't.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, it's a combo pack.
That's interesting, Dave.
I don't think the vice president is elected.
Should we? That's an interesting thought. The vice president's just a.
It's like. I mean, it's like a tandem parachute.
Yeah, but the vice president has a lot of unseen power. The vice president has a lot of unseen power that doesn't get out there. Okay, he does. They do.
You need a mamala hug, don't you?
Oh my God, I do so bad right now.
Did you see that clip, Dave? Man, that's good stuff.
Yes. No, I'm good.
Let's see. I'm gonna look. I mean, that's a good question you have.
I'm looking up. Can the VP be fired?
Well, I don't.
Vice president
I mean,
should be removed.
He cannot be fired by the president. No, the vice president is a constitutional officer. It is a position enumerated in the Constitution. Yes. You can't just fire that guy.
Take an oath of office.
Yeah. Okay. So Trump says he's not gonna let people walk out anymore. He's gonna be firing people. I want that to be true. I want bad actors to be flushed out. But after the first administration, he didn't do that. So I'm a little bit sketchy, but I know who definitely won't fire people. And that's Joe Biden. So, all right. So here's another thing. Trump would enter a second term backed by a slew of policy shops staffed by loyalists who've drawn up detailed plans in service of his agenda, which would concentrate the powers of the state in the hands of a man whose appetite for power appears all but insatiable. Do you think that maybe the Time article authors are biased at all? Here's the quote. I don't think it's a big mystery.
Yes. If there's adjectives, yes, they're biased.
This quote is not from Trump. This is from Kellyanne Conway. Mm-hmm. Quote, I don't think it's a big mystery what his agenda would be, says his closest advisor, Kellyanne Conway. But I think people would be surprised at the alacrity with which he will take action. So I believe you may have to use a definition on that word, alacrity. But I think that means he's going to come in swift, fast, and hard, and he's going to make big changes.
How do you think
of that? Alacrity. Alacrity. That's a great word. Never heard that word.
Readiness, brisk, and cheerful.
No. It's going to be smiles and pink slips is what it's going to be. You're fired. You're fired. Okay. All right. I got a couple more quotes here out of this article. There's a lot of, and I encourage everybody to go read the article. It's on Time Magazine, time.com, but it is, it's not fair and balanced. That's for sure. Here's one. Trump has sought to recast an insurrectionist riot as an act of patriotism. Quote, I call them J6 patriots, he says. When I ask whether he would consider pardoning every one of them, he says, yes, Absolutely. As Trump faces dozens of felony charges, including election interference, conspiracy to defraud the U.S., willful retention of national security secrets, and falsifying business records to conceal hush money payments, he has tried to turn legal peril into a badge of honor. All of those cases, every single one of those, I believe, are absolute garbage. But what do you think about Donald Trump saying outright he'd be willing to pardon J6 rioters?
Well, we already knew that. I mean,
but do you care? Yeah, but there's a difference between knowing it and him saying it in real clear language to the American public.
Yeah, that's great.
What do you think? Do you
I
have
think
a sense?
I think he'll try. I think he'll try. And that's what people presidents get up there and say, I'm going to do this. Well, they don't just have the power to freaking give you back your student loan debt. And that was another thing that dawned on me a couple of weeks ago with somebody saying something. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. These people that they're forgiving these student loan debts on, most of that debt has already been repaid, and all you're paying on is interest at this point any damn way. So it's not like they didn't get their money back or they're not getting their money back. They've already gotten their money back. They're just that $10,000 debt that you took out that you're paying $35,000 back on. That's it. So I think he's going to at least attempt to do the things he says. But of course, there's going to be people from every freaking corner of the Democrats trying to stop every single. They're already in motion trying to figure out plans to stop all of these things.
Okay, so I think this is the last one I've highlighted. The article's very long. Oh no, I got two more. Okay, let's see what you think about this. Trump has vowed to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Biden. This is what he says, quote, I wouldn't want to hurt Biden. I have too much respect for the office. But a few seconds later, he suggests Biden's fate may be tied to the upcoming Supreme Court ruling on whether presidents can face criminal prosecution or acts committed in office. Quote, if they said that a president doesn't get immunity, the Supreme Court, his case that was heard last Thursday, if they said that a president doesn't get immunity, then Biden, I am sure, will be prosecuted for all his crimes. Biden has, and then the author puts in parentheses, Biden hasn't been charged with any, and a House Republican effort to impeach him has failed to unearth any evidence of crimes or misdemeanors. Any evidence? Failed to unearth any evidence? There's a mountain of evidence. What they've done is failed to impeach or even bring impeachment charges. What do you think about the issue of presidential immunity? The question before the Supreme Court is: are presidents immune from acts committed, from criminal acts committed in official duties?
No,
in official duties. That's separate from personal acts.
No,
they're not.
No.
Well, okay.
Why?
War crime. If you have war crimes that are committed, for instance, that's a crime that's committed in the act of or in the line of duty, right? As president, your actions that you. So I think there should still be responsibilities.
Let me give you an example of what you're saying, JJ, where the president has immunity to whatever he's doing. Let me give you just one small example. Every freaking monarchy for the past 2,000 years. That's just one small example of when the ruler does not have.
I got a tighter example for you. Barack Obama ordered a drone strike on a cafe in Yemen. And we were not at war with Yemen. And in that drone strike, he killed a terrorist. But that terrorist was a United States citizen. And his son was with him. And his son was a United States citizen, a civilian. So Barack Obama ordered an airstrike on a cafe in a country we're not at war with and killed a United States citizen. That's murder. So is Barack Obama immune from prosecution for murdering a United States citizen?
We could go back to every single president and nitpick if we wanted to. We could dig up the freaking Thomas Jefferson's bones and try his ass too if we wanted to. All right.
Well, this is the crux of the question though. Like, if the Supreme Court says presidents do not have immunity, then what we will unleash is a gate of political reprisal from administration to administration, where every incoming administration will prosecute the prior political bodies,
and nothing will get done, just like today.
On the other hand, if the Supreme Court says presidents are immune from prosecution for acts done while in office, separate from personal things, you cannot just walk up to somebody and murder them. But if you're doing your duties and it's in somehow criminal, if the Supreme Court says yes, they are immune from that, well, then we said in it we that's basically the precedent that we've been living with for like 2.5 centuries. So the outcome of Trump's case, it very much could impact Joe Biden. Okay, so here's the last one I'm going to do. Regarding immigration, for an operation of that scale, Trump says that he would rely mostly on the National Guard to round up and remove undocumented immigrants throughout the country. Quote, if they weren't able to, then I'd use other parts of the military, he says. When asked if that means he would override the Posse Comitatus Act, an 1878 law that prohibits the use of military force on civilians, Trump seems unmoved by the weight of the statute. Quote, well, these aren't civilians, he says.
Civilians.
These are people. Yeah. These are people that aren't legally in our country. He would also seek to help from the local police, and he would deny funding for jurisdictions that decline to adopt his policies. There's a possibility that some won't want to participate, and they won't partake in the riches. So Donald Trump is willing to use military power to repel a foreign invasion of illegal immigrants.
I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah, right. I know. Time writes it up like this guy's the butcher, and I'm like, no, this guy's like doing his like. This sounds like a plan to do your job. Yeah. Now, this is all out of one. This is half of one article from Time Magazine. And in this one half of an article, we've gotten several points about things that are going to definitely happen if Trump gets elected. Do you have any idea what Joe Biden's plan is for his administration, other than to just randomly set shit on fire, sell our fuel, get us involved in other wars, sell bombs to people, and launder money through Ukraine? No, nobody has any idea. Okay. So that's the number one story, guys. If I don't know if we'll get to the other half of the Time Magazine article, but it's a very long article. A lot of interesting things in there. Okay, for the second story, let's move into one of Deacon's Twitter posts. Let's see. Push this button here.
Hey, that request came in from the real town in Kentucky, here in Western Kentucky, called Possum Trot. There's a town in Western Kentucky called Possum Trot, Kentucky. And that's what that request just came through from. He said, that's for Possum Trot. I was like, all right.
Possum Trot.
Your lines are right on your board.
Yeah, they are.
All right. So, Deke, here, let's see if you had something to say about this. I think this is one of your Twitter posts that you put in the news story. President Biden is considering bringing Palestinians from Gaza into the U.S., according to CBS News. Federal U.S. agencies are figuring out how to resettle Palestinians from Gaza. So, we're going to import the Gaza. We're going to import the Gaza problem to the U.S.
All right, those first two sentences say two different things. President Biden is considering, and federal agencies are figuring out how to. It sounds like it's already in process if they're figuring it out.
Can I ask just one small question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why are we bringing Gaza refugees to the United States of America? Why?
Oh wait.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a silly or make a joke or anything about this. I'm genuinely curious as to why we are shipping over refugees from Gaza to the United States of America, considering the state that the United States of America is in right now. I can't believe
it's bonkers, isn't it?
Somebody is going to say it's because the splinter cells that have migrated in, don't have their leaders, and this is the easiest way to get their leaders.
Hey,
over.
that's
Somebody
one
is going to say that.
feasible.
Somebody
That's
is going to say that.
that's one feasible postulation that is not ludicrous to me. That sounds very feasible to me.
If I were writing a book, that's what I would do.
I feel like this country is a giant powder keg, and the fuse is getting smaller and smaller. It doesn't it feel like it's inevitable? And if you want to get into spirituality and stuff like that, and how, the devil and that, you project that on people, and you've got millions of people that think something bad is going to happen. Something bad is going to happen.
I mean, I think so. I think so. Look, I don't personally know any Palestinians, but from what I can observe, the Palestinian people have allowed Hamas to be their legitimate government for years, and they have.
I don't know if that's a fair statement.
They haven't stopped them. They haven't stopped them. The Palestinian people have not stopped.
That'd be the same thing as saying all Americans have allowed Joe Biden to be president.
I'm pretty sure the Palestinians voted for Hamas to be their government
unanimously.
Hamas is their elected. Look, unanimously, unanimous, but
no strong arming, no. I mean that insinuates there's no fishy business going on at the. It's like I actually voted for their government, but they got their government. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, sure, but
I don't think all Palestinians support terrorism.
Let's run with the idea that Hamas is an illegitimately elected government. Okay, so where's all the Palestinian people saying from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, and Hamas is not our elected government? They're an illegitimate government. You're not hearing that. No, you're not hearing that at all.
You're hearing that from Americans.
So a Slate magazine says that Hamas won a bare plurality of votes, 44% to the Fatah party. But given the electoral system, a strong majority of seats. So they are elected with a large plurality, not a majority, but it's not a winner-take-all system, I guess.
Sure.
So that's from Slate magazine circa 2023. So, listen, the people from Palestine that are still in Gaza, and we evacuate, we run them out on that floating pier that they're making, and we import them into the United States. Those people are not going to be loyal to the United States. Their loyalty will still be to the Palestinian territory, Palestinian government. They're not going to assimilate and become Americans. So what we're going to have is foreign people with a foreign allegiance in our country, and it's going to lead to problems. So why are we doing this?
It's funny you say that, JJ. That's professional segues by JJW. Because exactly
why do we look funky here? What's going on?
Hang on.
Why are we lifted up?
You've got the thing down at the bottom, and I like that to tell what we're actually talking about at the point.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. You just talked about foreign people coming into our country and not assimilating to our country. So I wanted to show you this thread that Ashley sent me this morning from this guy, Guillermo Estrada. All right. He goes to UNC Chapel Hill, 27. He's supposed to graduate in 27. I guess that's what it means.
Okay.
Thread. Today was a sad yet empowering day at Chapel Hill. When I walked to class, I saw the Palestinian flag raised above our quad pole and was immediately upset at the act that these protesters had made. I cannot say I am fully educated on the Israel-Palestine conflict, but it upset me that my country's flag was disrespected in order to advocate for another. Shortly after, I brought this up. Okay, it's on screen. Shortly after, Chancellor Roberts came with police officers to hang the flag once again. They were met with profanity, middle fingers thrown thrown bottles, rocks, and water. When the flag was raised once again, the Greek community began singing the national anthem. As the chancellor left, the quad erupted into chaos as protesters began removing the flag once again, preparing to destroy it. My fraternity brothers and others ran over to hold it up in order for it to not touch the ground. People began throwing water bottles at us, rocks, sticks, calling us profane names. We stood for an hour defending the flag, so many fight to protect. Here's the big one. My parents started a new life in the United States, a country that has helped them flourish and raise 2 kids. I grew up in a military community and saw firsthand the sacrifices they make. I will not stand for the disrespect these protesters cause for the sake of another country. My LDOC will be memorial in knowing that my fraternity brothers and others fought to keep the flag up, but it was also be memorial in knowing that so many yearn to disrespect it. This guy,
dude, patriot. That's a patriot. That's a child of migrants that is a patriot.
A child of migrants that is a. Look, you see, I followed him. I was like, hell yeah, I'm following this guy.
Yeah, you know what? What is it? Estrada Guillermo?
Guillermo Estrada.
Guillermo?
Yeah. And so that was sent to me this morning from Ashley, and I thought, geez, a mercy. And then I came across this other one, JJ, about the, here, let's get this off the screen because we're not talking about.
We changing it. Here, I'll bring it down. I got it. Okay. It's just chat. I just highlighted chat. Okay.
Oh, that's my bad. So this was another one that came to me about the protest. And when I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, it really opened up a door. It's like the Wizard of Oz door for me. So I'm going to read this guy. I'm going to read this to you so you can, did everyone fall for the psychological operation yet? America is gradually transitioning into a police state. Currently, many people are supportive because it mainly targets protesters they disagree with. However, this trend poses a threat to everyone's right to protest, including future issues like upcoming elections, although many are unaware of it. Those who dissent may soon be labeled as domestic terrorists, along with you homeschoolers and backyard gardeners, especially when protesting against perceived injustices like a stolen election. Media and authorities will portray them as threats to the nation's stability, lending to harsher crackdowns by law enforcement and mass arrests. Even peaceful protesters, who usually form the majority, could face severe consequences, spending years in isolation in prisons after being convicted by courts. Here's the speculation on this. Take it how you will on this next line, okay? George Soros is an agent of Israel. He's funding the pro-Palestine protests. They just want people to pick a side. They don't care as long as you pick one. The goal is to create a clash of civilizations and destroy the Constitution. Do you understand yet?
I mean, you are being pushed into conflict. All of you are being pushed into conflict on one dimension or another. And when, I mean, we already kind of live in a police state. I mean, we've got cameras everywhere. It's not as bad as in Europe where they have cameras everywhere and prosecute for all kinds of stuff. But I mean, when you get pushed to the point where you're inviting the police to come break up your fights and riots, and then the cities, the townships, the whatever, they empower police more. Look, police are good guys, except when they're not, except when when bad actors control the state and they say police go round them up, because the police go, yes, sir. They don't care. They're not going to. When have you ever heard of a police officer or a federal investigator or whatever declining to follow orders because it would be illegal or unconstitutional? Never. You never hear that. You think it ever happens though? I bet it happens all the time. Ask Afro Man.
We had a riot in our in the town next over to us in the county seat yesterday. 40 people involved in a big old fight in the Family Dollar parking lot. I think.
That's what we write about in Kentucky. I don't know who's president, but you better put that Mountain Dew back. That's mine.
When you have police departments that have 4, 3,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a large force to get that stopped.
Right.
And then
to figure out what else going on.
And then not only are those police needing help, you've got the good old boys, because the good old boy, there's a lot of good old boys out here. I call them the good old boys. They're good old country. They're good old country boys that every damn one of them has a gun on them and probably another one or two in their vehicle, and they are not mean people.
So a couple years ago, true story. A couple years ago, call goes out on dispatch. Got an individual who's whatever. Police ask for support. One officer at the time, he asked for support. Nothing. Nobody else. And he says, "I need somebody with a weapon here now." One person who's listening to the radio shows up with a shotgun. Who's not in law enforcement. I mean, you've been trained, but yeah, the good old boys stuff. And I'm
The
like,
good old boys will take care of business. They will protect
no
you.
weapons were fired, but oh my word,
they will protect you. These good old boys, and they make us out to be, oh, he's got a hidden weapon. Oh, you should be scared. Oh, that man's walking through Target with a pistol on his side. That man is somebody's papaw that loves his grandchildren, and you don't even know that man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about let's see. We got we have a Biden story.
Today's my Wednesday day, so I'll have to dip out.
Yeah, we're gonna need to accelerate here a little bit. Deke had a story in here about the White House staff having to correct Joe Biden. He must have had a little he misspoke and something, and they had to come correct his statement once.
Well, he's only misspoke. This story just covers from January. Okay, all right. So Joe Biden is
May. It's now May, so that's
right.
4 months.
So
So
it's
maybe
not
four of them.
Just 4 months of his gaffes that he's misspoke. And they've had to go back and say, oh, he didn't mean to say that. So you just have to. I mean, this is Joe Biden, and it's only been 4 months, but they have had to. They've had to correct Joe Biden 148 times at least since January.
Since January. Oh, hold on. Let me ask Google real quick. How many days since January 1? It's been 121 days.
Wow. So it's been 121 days, and the 81-year-old president has stumbled in 118 statements. That's almost one a day.
Yeah.
That's January 1st and to April the 24th, meaning there were more errors to correct than those made in official announcements.
All right. Okay.
I heard that on the news yesterday, and it was just a one line in the news, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, oh, I got to get that story for our show tomorrow.
All right. So let's look at a different way to do things. We've talked before about, and not very often, but in El Salvador, there's a President Bukele. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name.
Bukele.
I think this is the guy that was like, oh, we're gonna have like super hard prisons for criminals, and it's like you're gonna be a criminal. You remember when I ran those videos, and there was like guys like belly button to butthole, and they were like run into, and they were being, like there's no leniency for these criminals, and surprisingly, the criminal syndicate has plummeted in El Salvador. Well, Bukele, I should have figured out how to say his name before I brought it up. Check this out. El Salvador's Bukele orders the entire executive branch to be investigated for corruption. This is so based. I won't be the president that didn't steal but was surrounded by criminals. Whoa. Can you? I mean, the bravery. That's brave. You cannot believe that the entire executive branch that is full, if it's full of criminals, would not go to whatever means necessary to stop him from doing this. And I'm not saying the entire executive branch is criminal. I'm saying there's criminals there. And if you don't think that there's criminals here, there's criminals here too. You've seen what the deep state in the U.S. did to Donald Trump, are still doing. Russia collusion, drinking bleaks hoax, media corruption, censorship. 4 trials at the same time. And this is El Salvador. You don't necessarily have the same protections in El Salvador that you have in the U.S. I think this is brave. This is an uncommon kind of bravery that we are witnessing here.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, yeah.
Here's the quote. You can see that everyone here is from the executive branch that I oversee, except for one person, the Attorney General. He is not part of the executive branch, but he is here for a simple reason. I want to ask him to publicly to investigate everyone sitting here. He had them in the same room as him. Retroactively and into the future.
I think everyone in the room but the Attorney General, because he said everyone in the room is under me except for him, and I'm ordering him to investigate every single one of you people.
That's amazing. That is
amazing. Because from what I understand, he did not want to. One of their presidents is like in prison. One's on the run. He didn't want to be. I'm the good guy. I want to try to do good, but everybody would say, well, he was the good guy, but he surrounded himself with thieves, so we can't trust him. And he's like, I'm a good guy. I want to do this. So this is. I fear for this guy. El Salvador is isn't that between Mexico and, I mean, it's got Guatemala's over there, and
it's in South America. It's
Nicaragua.
It's right on that little tip that gets down.
I think it's above Panama. It's between Mexico and South America, right? And between Mexico and Panama. I don't remember my geography. What we're talking about there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
make sure I know Honduras and I think El Salvador share a border.
Yeah, I think Mexico, and then you got like Guatemala and El Salvador's on the bottom.
Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. Where's El Salvador?
Yeah, Guatemala and then Panama.
Oh, it's right. Oh, okay, yeah, it's right here. I found it. Here. So yeah, it does share a border with Honduras. This is Honduras, and
Guatemala. Yeah, Honduras is the other one. Nicaragua, and then Costa Rica, and then past Costa Rica should be Panama, right? Move up.
Yeah,
there's
Panama. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at you go, Deke.
Man, I'm pretty good. I like that kind of stuff. I'm pretty good at geography. And geology.
Right.
I like geology too.
Right on.
Entomology. I like it all.
Let's talk about coal again. We talked about coal yesterday. Let's talk about coal, Deke. Let me get that down. There we go. It's down. Here we go. The G7 met. That's United States and a bunch of other countries, Europe, United Kingdom, some other ones here. We'll get to it. G7 nations reach an agreement to end all coal plants by 2035. We're going to turn coal off, man. We're turning coal off all around the world, except maybe for China. China, of course, is using more coal than everybody put together by a bunch. China is not part of this deal. So we're only going to let China burn coal. No more coal.
No more coal.
Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and the United States agreed no more coal.
Did we agree?
Yeah, I did. You wasn't there, Dave. You were you had a meeting or something, but we voted for you.
We are not going to renege on no more coal. We might renege on it, though. We might back out of that.
I'm just saying.
China is the worst coal polluter on the globe, emitting 8,250 million metric tons of carbon dioxide from coal combustion in 2022. The second largest was India, which is 1/4 of that.
During COVID, when like the globe wasn't doing anything, did you all watch any of the pollution areas?
They got nice, didn't they?
Fascinating. Yeah. Like the sky just like got nice. These are like the satellite imagery of stuff. Things just like got happy.
Like if you have to live there, you don't want it to be nasty no more. If you can't move around, can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
There was this little it was in a documentary format years and years ago, and I cannot remember the exact name of it, but it was something like if humans didn't exist, or if humans disappeared, if all humans, like this, what it was like if humans disappeared today, just like that, every human was gone on Earth, what would happen to the Earth? and it kind of postulated on what would happen to the cities and how fast. It was like 200 years, and there would be very
200.
little. It was
Wouldn't
not. It wasn't very long at all before it was like you would barely be able to tell that there was a city here.
25 years max. Thunderstorms, fire, burned down. It's all gone. It's over. I mean,
put a blue roof on your house. And
no, blue roof will save it.
Yeah, it'll save it.
That was the metal fire. Ashes land on a metal roof. That metal don't burn.
The color blue reflects the lasers that shoot down to burn.
No, those were metal roofs. Come on.
Do you really believe that? Do you not believe that the color? That's a scientific fucking fact. That's a scientific fact. Look it up. That color blue reflects that light, that laser. It just does.
Sure, it reflects blue.
We got to wrap it up. I got stuff.
All right, here we got two.
Y'all can keep going, but I'm going to have to dip out.
Okay, we'll just say this. I mean, these are not super important. So here's one. Canada, apparently, the Ontario Court of Justice now requires participants to state their preferred pronouns. If you go to court, you're gonna have to answer the "What are your pronouns, sir?" questions. That's Canada. I mean, because Canada. That's the law in Canada. It's the Supreme Court in Canada. They now say,
okay, well,
you have to abide by the pronoun.
So
police.
If pronouns for some individuals are made up, according to some, like I'll use Jordan Peterson as an example. He believes that some of the pronouns are just made up words. They're crap.
They are
words.
Them,
so
Z.
So
they're not even
my comment that is make up your own pronoun.
Yeah.
What do you want to be?
Yeah,
make up your own pronoun.
Well, what are they going to do? How are they going to enforce it? Is my question.
This is my pronoun. Curmudgeon.
They're going to be like, oh no,
I know
you can't say that. You cannot say you're a he.
No.
Everybody else agrees that you're a female. You're a she. No, that's not what. This is nonsense. And then there's this: a Canadian trans chaplain at Royal Military College suspended for sexual misconduct. So we were talking the other day, Dave, about chaplains, and you said you got you part of an organization, and the United States government has certain rules about being chaplains, and obviously, we got very little room to talk in the United States since we have like trans attorney general for health, and like everybody's seen those men in skirts in the military, chairs or whatever.
Sexuality does not belong in chaplaincy whatsoever. So I don't know why trans has to be added to chaplain. You are a chaplain or you are not chaplain. And if you're going to like request to be identified like this, then it starts to.
I know where your brain's
you're a chaplain or you're not chaplain.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's not chaplain stuff going on here.
So there's definitely some people that would. Okay, I don't know. I don't know the facts. I don't know the facts on it. But there's some people that would, assert that among the people that identify in LGBTQIA trans ideology in particular, gender ideology in particular, is there a higher incidence of deviant behavior, a proclivity to deviant behavior than in terms of ratio?
I don't know. There's a lot of sexual misconduct that has happened in.
Sure, there is absolutely. But if you look at a ratio, if you look at a percentage,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
you're dealing from a much smaller pool. I don't know what, and so I mean, just one or two is going to skew that number way high.
That's true. That's right.
I don't know.
That's a fair thing to say. I mean, okay, look, I
don't care that they're trans, but drop that out. That has nothing to do with chaplaincy at all.
I personally consider, if you're doing this pronoun stuff, this, trans ideology, whatever, I consider that a red flag for mental health issues, right? And I think it's fair to. I think it's fair to say, like, that might be a red flag. And here we have cases where people are empowered, and it'd be like, and retroactively, you can be like, oh, well, that person was clearly a cuckoo.
I do think there needs to be mental health exams for those who are going to enter into fields where you help individuals in a mental or spiritual capacity. What do I know though?
I don't know. I think regarding like employment and stuff, I think there was a story out recently that said that if people put trans or any of that kind of stuff on their resumes, that they're being filtered out by potential employers. Is it fair if you have if you have an applicant, a resume comes in and you see something on there that signals to you trans identity or anything like that?
That would signal to me as someone who hires that could be a potential. That could be an employee. If I hired that employee, I'm bringing in potential problems to my company. Is exactly what I'm doing. So I would not even consider that person if they had that on there, because that means that they want you to identify with that. If they are that way and they never mention it on the resume, and we go through and I find that's something different, and that's a different scenario you would have to do then. But to me, someone that's very flamboyant about this is who I am,
right?
And that would potentially, in my personal opinion, that would potentially create problems for my company. Yeah,
I think that's fair.
You're hired to do a job.
You're hired to do a job. You're exactly right.
Well, okay,
do the job. It should have nothing to do with your sexual preference whatsoever. It's not a don't ask, don't tell. It's I don't care. Can you do the job? Are you qualified to do the job? And if you are, come on, let's do it.
Then counterbalance that with the fact that so many people who are trans activists or whatever are being put into high-level positions. When you know that it's a marginal fraction of the pool of candidates, and yet they are being hired and they're being elevated or what have you. We don't get a transgender general, surgeon general. We don't get a transgender surgeon general at random based on merit, So I don't know.
I don't have a lot of time left.
I just thought it was interesting. Okay, well, we're going to cut it short today.
Life is short.
We're out of stories. We ran the gamut.
I have a song of the.
I have to send you a video. Of my son performing Ripple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite songs. That's got so many great lines in it. The lyrics to Ripple are just
talk later. Go ahead,
man. That's prophetic song. Okay, song of the day. This week we're doing songs with. I changed it to interesting backstories instead of weird backstories. So songs with interesting backstories. We missed one day. We missed yesterday. So we did. I'm sorry. Yeah, we did fastball the way. So I'm doubling up for you. Go over to our Discord server and check out the playlist over there. Today's two songs are Wake Me Up When September Ends and Barracuda. And I've got the backstories over there on our website, but I'll tell you really quick. Wake Me Up When September Ends is about Billy Joe Armstrong's dad. His dad passed away when he was like 10 in 1982. And he was so distraught as a 10-year-old, he went to his bedroom and his mother was trying to console him. And he said, "Wake me up when September ends." Because that's when his dad died. He was done. And so he ended up writing that song. And now it's turned into a freaking meme to where every September the 30th, everybody, tell that guy from Green Day that September's in. And he's just like, man, thanks. I know it's turned into a meme, but you people don't know that when you do that, Wow. So that's what that song's about. Can you
stab me in the heart 30 years straight in a row? Because
there's different ways to look at stuff like that. My cousin died drowned in the Chattahoochee River about 6 months before that song by Alan Jackson became a #1 smash. So for years, every time I heard that Chattahoochee song, I hated it. I hated that song because it reminded me of my cousin, because we were very close. But then one day I was godsmacked and I was like, hey, every time you hear this song, you think about your cousin Seth, dude. So now that's my favorite song, because every time I hear that song, I get to think about my cousin that's been passed away since we were 15 years old. So that's good. It's a different way to look at stuff. And the second song is Barracuda by Heart. Love Heart. They are the female Led Zeppelin. They're so awesome. A friend of mine recently got to go see them, and I was very jealous. But Barracuda was written about a record executive who their first album was called Dreamboat Annie, and their sisters, Ann and Nancy Wilson, and they were standing there next to each other, and their bare shoulders were touching. And so this record executive was saying something like, "Oh, how's your lover?" And Nancy was like, "Oh, Mike's fine." And he was like, "No, I mean your sister." Because their bare shoulders were touching in the 70s. So they wrote Barracuda as a revenge song to him and every other person like that.
All right.
So,
Wow.
interesting stories behind songs. I'll bring up another one that tomorrow. You'll like that.
Okay.
All right,
Man,
we got the
this.
round.
I haven't heard this song in a long, long time. This Green Day song. This is pretty great stuff.
Yeah, it's a good song.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at anything else you want to say, Dave? Anything? Oh, we got to do jokes. Let's do jokes real quick.
Yeah, we did. I had that cheetah story, which I'm looking forward to the cheetah story. That was good stuff.
Cheetah?
Not today.
Okay.
It's in news drops.
I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Guys,
Yes.
do you know why baseball pitchers stay away from caves?
No.
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 Dave? No. Well, they don't like bats.
Really? That's the more appropriate response. Do you guys you probably don't know about this, but I study origami.
Oh.
Yeah. I recently applied to this college, and an origami college, and they sent me a rejection letter. And I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, that's all
right.
A little bit of chuckles. Okay.
I was eating breakfast this morning. I have eggs every morning, and I got to like one of them philosophical thoughts. I'm like, if eggs could drive, do you know what kind of car they would drive?
What?
Volkswagen.
I was thinking Volkswagen, but I didn't go Volkswagen. That's the appropriate response right there.
Chill, yeah.
And subscribe. We will be back mañana, 8 o'clock in the morning. Rumble.com/JJW, YouTube.com/ I can't say.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. Tune in now to your 2000 show. JJ and